Smart to chew on. The Lunchroom on RCI. Monday to Friday, 12:45 to 2 p.m. The Lunchroom. Informative, enlightening, provocative, engaging. The Lunchroom on RCI. Food for thought. The station that gives you, more lunch.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Lunchroom on Radio Caribbean International. It is Thursday, my apologies, the 1st of February 2024. This is program number 1133 of the Lunchroom. I'm your host, Calix George Jr. Now, of course, in addition to 101.1 FM radio, you can get us at our website. It is rcistlucia.com. And we are also streaming live on Facebook. Just search for the official page of Radio Caribbean International. And be sure to like and share that, please, with your friends and family. The number to call in later on is 452-3046. Again, 452-3046. As well as our WhatsApp number. It is 724-0008. Again, 724-0008. Now, today, some birthday greetings going out to Miss Tana Stanislas. Happy birthday to you, and wishing an absolutely wonderful birthday celebration. And also to Mr. Brian Vidal. I think we sent you birthday greetings in advance yesterday. But happy birthday, Brian, and we do hope that you're having a splendid birthday today. Now, a bit of history. Well, in the year 1586, on this day, Queen Elizabeth I of England signed a death warrant for her cousin, Mary, the Queen of Scots. In 1843, on this day, the oldest continuous writer of insurance in America, the Mutual Life Insurance Company of New York, opened. And 1979, on this day, Ayatollah Khomeini returned to Iran after 15 years in exile. 2003, on February the 1st, saw the space shuttle Columbia disintegrating during a re-entry into Earth's atmosphere, killing all 7 astronauts on board. In 2009, on this day, Johanna Sigurðardóttir was elected as the first female Prime Minister of Iceland, and also becoming the first openly gay head of government in the modern world. And in 2021, on this day, the military staged a coup in Myanmar, and that saw the detaining of civil leaders, including Aung San Suu Kyi, and declared a 1-year state of emergency. And now we're going to head across to our dish of the day, and we hope you can join us for that. The Daily Dish is brought to you with the kind compliments of our good friends at Tiles Plus.
One tiles for your home, I see. Bathroom, kitchen, pantry. Need tiles for your balcony. Come down to Tiles Plus, satisfaction guarantee. Tiles Plus, Tiles Plus, Tiles Plus. Big tiles with unbeatable cost. Customer service, A+. There's all kind of tiles. Come down to Tiles Plus. We also got gasway and vanity. Books, doors, you'll see. Come down, don't mind nobody. We got the best tiles on island. Trust me. We are located Land Street in Castries, Bosses Grozile, and Slack Street in Beaufort. Telephone number 453-7939. Tiles Plus.
Serving now, The Daily Dish.
And welcome back to our program for the Lunchroom here at Radio Caribbean International. Now, we've entered the month of February, and of course it is Independence here in St. Lucia, being celebrated on the 22nd of February. In fact, in just a few days as well, we are celebrating our 45th anniversary of independence. Grenada will be marking 50 years of being an independent state, getting their independence in February of 1974. So certainly we are in good company in terms of our celebration, and it's going to be a celebration indeed. It's definitely a time that a number of people look towards coming together, and even support from neighboring islands and some of the events that are put on by way of the motor racing, and also on the Calypso stage. And that's going to be happening as part of the Legacy. It's a Legacy Calypso and that is going to be put on Saturday, the 10th of February. Not too long now. You've got to get your tickets to head out to that program and to really give us a sense as to what is on the cards, what's on the plate for Legacy Calypso. Certainly a staple of the Independence calendar. I'm so pleased to have in studio with me one of the lead organizers of Legacy, Mr. Teddy Francis, and online on call with us, we also have one of the lead sponsors of Republic Bank Eastern Caribbean Limited in the person of Mr. Kelly Mitchell. Welcome, gentlemen, to the program.
Thank you, Calix. Thank you.
Good evening. Good evening, Calix, and good evening to the listeners of RCI, and of course, good evening to my promoter, Teddy Francis.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now, Teddy, Legacy. I mean, this has really become one of the go-to events for the Calypso calendar. I know you have it beyond Calypso as well, but the importance of really giving people a taste of Calypso, a taste of the Vaval, which we, of course, have shifted away from that February season, ensuring that we still have that anchoring our independence celebrations.
Thanks, Alex, and thanks for the opportunity here on this platform. As has become the custom ahead of the Legacy event. This year we're dubbing it Legacy 45. And maybe not so much, we're not so keen, Alex, on that nexus to the Vaval. In fact, our objective is quite the contrary, to try to establish that beyond the Vaval, Calypso has its own life and belongs in a space that is not so seasonal. And so we want to get past the seasonality and try to promote our efforts to having Calypso all year. This is the 6th or 7th edition now of because one year we had two in the calendar year, of Legacy. This one we've dubbed Legacy 45, the link, of course, to the 45th anniversary. And we have always said that it provides, we think, a welcome and needed early momentum to the celebrations. Generally, one must be honest that the independence celebrations nationally take a while to warm up and the public to warm up, and not till near the crescendo does the public really get engaged and involved.
On the day itself, usually, maybe.
Well, the weekend or the couple of days before. That having been said, well, credit must be given, the plaudits to the efforts this year through the Ministry of Local Government, Richard Frederick and his team, and the PS, Ms. Ambrose, really shaping that battle
National Battle Relay.
Something with
lots of vibes, lots of energy,
immense potential.
Amazing medley of musicians. I mean, I saw that Dennery up in Olio. There was a whole solo session going on there to culminate that aspect of it. Really wonderful stuff.
I just think the potential of that is immense for rallying people, for the national unity, for the exposure and expose of talent of the different traits of the various communities. Really could be something very powerful. And to think that it started on Sunday and going up till the 22nd, which is almost a full month, and every day. And you could see with the rivalry and the inherent competition between the communities that it's going to improve as you go through. And one can imagine the bigger community of Fort, your Labrie, that's so proud of the community, the kind of efforts will come through, Soufre, for example. But that having been said, so we're playing our part with the independence. We have found and maybe benefited from the fact that the fervor, the national pride, the patriotism is at a peak then. And so the fact that we're celebrating the artists, it's a number of objectives. One, as you said, another platform for Calypso, a cherished art form on St. Lucia. Two, to have the exposure and the benefit of the St. Lucian patrons, the Calypso fraternity, seeing a number of the Caribbean icons, all under the name of regional unity that we often pay lip service to, but we have kept a consistency with inviting some of the Caribbean icons. We've done Gabby was here on the second stint with us, Ras Eiley, we've done Explainer, we've done Gabby, Short Shirts, and so from the various islands. This year, the slate welcomes Beckett, who's one of the most talented soca, I call him, artists in the Caribbean. Wide repertoire, hit after hit, and certainly his vocal talent and stage performance is something really respected throughout the Caribbean. He'll be here almost leading the cast. Gabby, an absolute legend, one of the greatest Calypsonians and writers out of the Caribbean, will be here along with Ras Eiley, known for his dynamic performances and his super hits. Invader, in a sense, almost heading or leading the St. Lucian team or cast. And there's no...
Now, Gabby will also claim some St. Lucianness. Eh? Remember that on his mother's side, he from Dennery,
Right.
so he certainly has his. I'm not sure if he's gotten his passport sorted out, but you should try to make sure that happens this time around.
We should do it on Legacy stage at night.
Yeah, well, that would be great, wouldn't it?
That's a nice touch. That's a nice touch. Having said that, the Gabby, as you said, with the roots being here, Ross Eiley too has some in-laws from St. Lucia, as he often says, so the link not lost. And Beckett, very fond of St. Lucia, he says, and speaks well of the musicians. He says some of the best backup he has had has been in St. Lucia going through. So good cast. We mentioned Invader. As for Alain, has really earned his place as one of the absolute achievers and stalwarts and generals of music in St. Lucia. Certainly the carnival subgenres, as a 6-time monarch, 6 consecutive wins. Every time
and he'll be on main stage jazz this year as well, isn't he?
Right,
Yeah.
a good.
So you're getting a good taste of him before that.
And so he also has, he too was accused maybe of being seasonal in the impact of his songs, not really lasting past the season, but he has a hit, Feeling Irie this year, that's really resonated throughout the Christmas season, the parties, and a genuine hit. He, of course, is the singer of the what we call the Independence Anthem, I'm a St. Lucian, that's really become kind of edged out the former St. Lucia we love. It's kind of...
You think so, eh?
Maybe I don't know.
Debatable, we'll see.
But
all in all, certainly that
is
repertoire of national songs in this current
so
era.
He's doing that. He will be doing that. And then we always try to ensure the younger generation, that's in essence really what the legacy is about, transferring and imparting.
Generational exchange, intergeneration exchange, yes.
We've seen that there with T-Blacks and Desrel. Last year we had Oshun. We've had a few in the past. And so with that, we announced those, and what we do at Legacy, there are a number of other artists are on, but for the sake of the promotion and the freshness, we don't always name the same artists. So there's some established artists who would very much be on, but we leave the element of surprise to the show. So we have advertised the 4 main ones for the purpose of promotion and marketing, the little psychology to it, and then there will be a number of other acts on the show, but you discover them on the night, the order in which they'll be, what songs they're doing, and we do have a couple artists, for example, noted soca artists will be doing their own treatment of some calypso standards, which should be quite interesting. I just tell people, could you imagine Ricky T singing Malawi by Ashanti? That should be interesting. That's both of them 2 grassroots kind of giant figures, in their own right, with grassroots following and the voice of the people, the grassroots kind of Ricky T singing. You do know Malawi?
Of course, right. Yes.
No,
But
Christopher Hunt's one.
Christopher
Hunt's Malawi.
Maybe so.
I'm never sure if you have to come to this shows more often.
I suspect so.
Yeah.
I do need to make a point, but I'm not sure that we actually are going to be. I'm not sure if I'm going to be around, but I'll try to make it though. But actually, I will be. Yes, right, definitely. On the 10th. For your father's sake, for the family, you have to represent. Try to represent. Okay, very well.
The records your father's been to a lot more tents than you have. He's more comfortable in that.
I've been to a few tents in my life, but I take the point. Yeah.
You'll get a media discount.
Oh, thank you for being so generous, right. Teddy. Yes, definitely.
Right.
Now,
have you attended more often? You've gotten that complimentary right now.
Well, I haven't earned my spots. Okay, very well. So, but in terms of the venue now, there's a change of venue, very importantly. So we don't want anybody ending up at Barnard Hill on the 10th.
But me, I'm so mindful of Kelly Mitchell not being reprimanded at work for having his whole lunch hour on holding on first. Maybe it's a good time to have Kelly and then come back.
Well, certainly, Kelly. Thanks for joining us on this discussion on Legacy Calypso, and of course, representing one of the lead sponsors, Republic Bank, Eastern Caribbean Limited, and of course, advanced 50th Independence greetings to you, Kelly. I mean, next week Wednesday. A major day for Grenada. So
huge, and Grenada are known to taking independence very seriously.
Definitely, this year they are doing a fantastic job of it. And thanks for joining us, Kelly.
Right, thank you very much, Calix, and thank you for the independence best wishes for Grenada. Indeed, 50 years is a major milestone. But today we're talking Legacy Calypso, and Republic Bank just want to register our endorsement to Teddy and his team for putting on such a good experience for the past 7 years. This show is this year will mark the 7th year. Republic Bank has been on board for 4 years. The reason we kept that sponsorship is really because we are happy with the promoters, the way they organize the event, and the impact that we see we were left with no choice but to keep that sponsorship going. As you know, colleagues, we are a regional bank who are deeply invested in our Caribbean culture. In some of our markets, we are heavily invested in calypso, soca, pan, and so on. And so in St. Lucia, I think on the heels of your 45th year of independence, there is no better time to have a calypso show called Legacy Calypso, where you see some of the real veterans of the OECS and the wider Caribbean. So you're talking people like, the mighty Gabby Beckett from St. Vincent, and then you have our own local, Arthur Ale, T-Blacks, Desron, and of course Invader, and so on. It really speaks to our Caribbeanism, right, if I should say. And calypso, we all grew up with some good calypso, and for us as a bank, we always believe in sustainability, right? If we want to continue calypso for the next generation, somebody has to nurture it from now. And that is what Republic Bank is about. We believe in our cultural fabric as a Caribbean people, and that's why we hold on to this sponsorship, because we see the value in it. It also gives our customers and our audience a chance to go in and relax and take in some good old calypso, because it's a form of therapy, if I should say, for some persons. And we appreciate that, because whatever we can do to ensure that our customers and the people of St. Lucia on a whole benefit, we will definitely support. So it's really our honor to support for the 4th year. We encourage persons to come out on February 10th at the Pavilion in Rodney Bay. Come in, relax, and take in some good calypso. It's part of our heritage, part of our history, and we applaud Teddy and his team for another successful planning. And we know that on the 10th, the show will be well executed as expected.
Indeed. Thanks so very much for that. In fact, Kelly, and that endorsement really important. The point that Kelly was making, Teddy, the importance of the legacy, the heritage of calypso. Some people may think that, calypso has gotten into itself almost akin to Test cricket. People are, looking more at the soca and the
T20,
the T20 of the music at this point in time.
Right.
You still feel that there's a strong following with calypso. There's a strong support in St. Lucia in this case.
Yeah, it's an important point. I just wanted to, just before answering, I make the point that we have decided, we have long been planning to start this year to honor almost a legacy Hall of Fame, legacy Calypso Hall of Fame. We're starting by honoring the mighty Pep and Her Black. As to the number of people to be honored, we start with the mighty Pep and Her Black. There's an interesting point. They'll be doing cameo performances, different cabaret style, and we urge people not to miss the start of the show. It will be something very, very special. The very start of the show, impact as we did last year, but also the fact that the mighty Pep has been such an achiever and a legend in its own right, with as many as 8 titles, matching your uncle Terra Calix. But Her Black too, one of the greatest voices, strongest melodies throughout the Caribbean, one they say, and certainly in St. Lucia. But there's a point that Suku made to me, Ras Suku, Truscott Augustine, to me a few months ago. We had a nice chat about the art form and so on. And he was in fact revealing that in a chat with Her Black had said to him that he was really underrated and underappreciated as a writer. Because we keep touting the writers, Suku foremost among them,
Ron Sion,
Lord Help Me, Sion, Jati, Niam Happy Shabatis, Face Calix, and a number of others. But we have never mentioned and given due credit to Her Black as a writer, because he has written all his songs.
Okay.
And you know the iconic one, Suzette, All in Me, One Day's Work, Calypso Jail. How much greater of a writer can he be? But because he's performing them, we are vaguely always aware that he was writing them, but he never got credit for that. So when we claim in writers, we don't mention Her Black. He has to be among. So he'll be honored for that, and Pep in his own right as an arranger, and Pep does the music for his songs. I think the combination is that Sion does the lyrics, but he does all the music, so in the end to credit them. And so back to your question, your initial question, you're asking about Calypso and whether
the following, is it getting itself into a sort of a state where...
There is a struggle. No, throughout the Caribbean, in fact, but we've not been too badly relative to our Caribbean neighbors. We have a situation where Calypso has remained very central to our carnival celebrations, where Calypso final is still very much in the jewel, and still Calypso 10 is widely covered by the media, particularly Radio Caribbean, and so social media. in other Caribbean countries, Trinidad, the Mecca, is become very marginalized.
I've realized that even this year, I noticed that they're having the finals at Skinner Park in San Fernando.
Yeah,
you would expect normally. Is it the semifinals?
Semifinals
Ah, my bad.
Yeah.
But
no, the finals remain Dimash Ground Sunday.
so it will remain within Port of Spain.
Yeah,
Okay,
Savannah,
okay.
yeah. So the semifinals have always been at Skinner Park in San Fernando. And in fact, interestingly, say because Marshall Montano has made the semifinals. He made an announcement, not well, return to Calypso where he started, but he's doing no soca performance this year, the carnival, and it's doing his studies as part of.
I think people will be expecting some soca from him at Jazz, but anyways, that's
he's coming, but none in Trinidad Carnival.
Yes,
you know? And so part of it is his dissertation and his thesis for his studies. He's doing a master's
in carnival arts.
He wrote a calypso, and so went to the 10th got judged and is now in semi-finals. Of course, interest throughout the world, throughout the Caribbean diaspora now. Skinner Park will be widely viewed online. What's happening there, whether he qualifies for the final. And in fact, our own T-Blacks, who's on legacy, T-Blacks is on his way to Trinidad tomorrow, booked for 10 performances, and very likely to be a guest performer over at Skinner Park. One would understand that the nature of his song, the message in his song, Ghetto Cries about the guns don't kill people, people kill people, could well resonate with the Trinidad and Tobago audience.
I realize there's a thrust towards Trini good music now. I mean, as a response to the Trinidad.
Trinidad music, right. And so, a good opportunity for him, but making the point that Trinidad, it has been marginalized. I mean, St. Vincent, Grenada, Antigua, with rich calypso tradition, the art form is very marginalized there. The big feds have taken over the soca, the boom boom. It's happened here, but I just think calypso has held, in fairness, and to St. Lucia's credit, it still relatively has some importance, you know. Of course, the big debate on about what's on some see as a demotion of calypso out of the climatic weekend. That's a big debate, a separate debate, that Calypso Pan and the traditional state events have been pushed a week forward, almost out of the tourist window.
And then the feds are dominating in the
so psychologically some have issues with that. But the counter is that it has given increased focus and no distraction to, you know, there's no excuse now not to attend Calypso finals. And so if it is going to live what the minister has done, we're supposed to go beyond the talk and see 5,000 people at Calypso finals. You know what I'm saying? Because there's no other fed, there's nothing, but we'll see how that goes. So, yes, legacy playing its part in keeping Calypso central within the cultural landscape, and as far as carnival arts go, you know. And so, as we said, the tickets were $70 for a full week and a half. They're now at $85. There'll be more at the door. Radio Caribbean is an outlet with all the convenient parking. There's Steve's Barbershop and the Wave in Rodney. So there's downtown Steve, uptown the Wave, midtown RCI.
Okay. People in the south might complain a little bit, but I suppose
people in the south have reached out for the tickets. The people who are interested. Remember,
you're doing delivery.
No, but
no. Okay.
The south is a separate topic. It's one you have to discuss, guys. You must be aware that the South and the clamor and demand for Calypso tickets is such a
you mentioned Mighty Terror a little while ago, but especially in the early days, a lot of those Calypso greats actually came out of VA4.
Well,
like himself.
People don't realize how many Calypso monarchs have come from VA4, quite a few, you know. But the South, that's a separate issue, Calix. Remember, the South Calypso 10 doesn't have a show in the South.
That is true. Yes.
And so it's not an abundance of support.
But it might also be the issue of infrastructure, space.
No,
maybe. Okay.
But so I'm saying the South, the people who are interested in attending a good Calypso show have access to tickets, and you know, and so you see, an outlet must be justified by numbers. You know.
Well, maybe that might be an interesting project for Kelly and Republic Bank and yourself. Maybe a legacy in the South at some point, a mission to the South at some point later on. Something to think about.
Wishful thought.
Thank you.
But being practical and real here. So, yeah, Republic Bank as a big sponsor, KFC also consistently support, as is for citizens. Flow have come on board, and of course the government of St. Lucia will continue to believe in the show and its importance in the context of Caribbean of celebration. We have had that history stressing of the independence in the past being too steeped in officialdom. Alex George and his friends being invited to the cocktails, and you know, the cashier at Marcy, the lady of Parve having no avenue to get part of the celebration. So legacy ensures that further the whole media build up and so on gives a kind of excitement and something to look forward to as far as independence is concerned. So, Calix, not only you and your friends, but the grassroots get to enjoy independence in their own way.
You don't think I'm a grassroots, but okay. Thanks very much for that, Teddy. And of course, it is happening come Saturday, February the 10th. Legacy Calypso, the 7th installment of it, and it is quite a lineup indeed. And as you rightfully pointed out, tickets are available right here at Radio Caribbean International, Steve's Barber Shop. And one other venue you mentioned as well, the Wave at Rodney Bay as well is on board.
And indoor venue is the new venue pavilion, newly and fully air conditioned. Is more space, yes, but it's limited. It's indoors.
Yes.
So let nobody complain when you don't get tickets eventually.
And is it standing room only? I mean, this is a fete to enjoy yourself. You're going to be sitting. It's a very proper sort of.
No, the seats and people dance in the seats and the space. Calix, you really need to come experience these things. I don't understand you, Calix. Like,
so at no point do you take away the seats?
No.
Okay. Oh, this
people
is a very...
dance in the space. They dance off the seats. They get off the seats and dance. That's what,
I see. I see.
Much your patrons, you want to sit during the night. And you have a good time. The sing-along is a big aspect of it and dancing,
Right. So if you're a 10 pinners or if you're not, if you...
10 pinners have their own arrangement. They have their own area. They have their discipline. They know where. They don't interrupt.
So they know where to behave or misbehave.
They know. And pool boy, as the president, reins them in if they not,
Okay. So you've got some disciplinarians out there.
There's order in the revelry there.
Legacy seems like it's quite an event indeed. And so we're so looking forward to it. I'm going to try to be making it as well.
Right.
The 10th, February the 10th at the Pavilion.
You do now need 2 tickets for every outing, not so?
Oh, I would suspect so, but that would be nice. Right. Of course, thanks.
After Kelly's last words, I'll have mine.
Indeed. Kelly, any parting words from you?
Well, Calix, I'd just like to end by saying, this is an independence treat for St. Lucia, and Republic Bank is happy to be one of the enablers to make this happen for the people of St. Lucia. It's very significant. 45 years of independence is a big deal, and we wish the entire population of St. Lucia a very happy independence, and we're looking forward to another 45 years to come.
Wonderful, I like that. This is not a squash and wasi cake treat that you're offering here on the 10th, and indeed, Teddy, tell us about it again.
Just saying, just appreciate the efforts of everybody, the writers who have contributed, the artists that had formed so special, and we're seeing, as people say, exposing the quality and the richness of Calypso we've had for the years, the quality of compositions.
You didn't mention the band. Who's
the band is Invasion, the Invasion band, with led by Zari, and that too is legacy. We've had the stalwarts like Piper and Defe and so who have done it. Nice to see that one of the proteges, the student under Gregory Piper in the band, is now leading the band, Invasion band. He has done the last 4 legacy shows. He has done the other Calypso shows with foreign artists. He is also on jazz for the 2nd year running. So a nice graduation. It's important, and the real essence of what the process is supposed to be of legacy, passing it on. That one of the younger students and exponents of the art in the musical accompaniment is now the leader of the backup band, a younger kind of generation in place. So all in place to go forward. We appreciate everyone. We want to make the point that at Legacy we strive to. We're very proud of the record of the treatment of the performers and the art and respect that there's a flawless record thus far of payment of artists, payment of suppliers. That's very important in the Calypso thing. And also that they paid properly, meaning very
fair compensation.
Significantly more than they get for the Calypso tents and so on, or for such outings. So we're very happy about it.
Right, and I was saying about Trinidad, for instance, the equivalent there, $250,000 for the winner plus a brand new car with insurance paid.
Yeah,
we hopefully we'll get there at some point.
But Trinidad down, for a few years they were at $1 million. Down, it's actually less now. Half Trinidad. But Trinidad, you see, Trinidad is not always a good lesson to follow. Trinidad is good at just money and money. Trinidad is shamefully have no, it's still coming up for 2 years now. The 2nd year, no still coming on crash. The same money saying that everything is the most money, dig out the most money and the most. How Trinidad and Tobago have no still coming up now? A whole generation of artists have no showcase. So it's not always the following the Trinidad example, lock, stock and barrel,
Wonderful.
But Calix said,
thank you so very much, Teddy, for making it happen. It's always a pleasure.
Discount,
I'll certainly try to be there indeed once I get permission. So definitely thanks very much for that, Teddy. And Kelly Mitchell of Republic Bank Eastern Caribbean for joining us and telling us all about Legacy, the 7th event, 7th anniversary of Legacy Calypso happening at the Pavilion, Rodney Bay, and that is on Saturday, February the 10th. From what time?
It's always 8 o'clock on time.
8 o'clock.
Yeah, we don't joke.
And you'll be starting on time.
8 o'clock. And
Wonderful.
so people know that there's traffic there, so to make your way up to Pavilion. Don't wait to leave your home at the morning at 7:30.
Will there be some special parking arrangements, or is that you can park on the ramp and that's perfectly fine? Okay.
It'll be a pleasant short walk. And,
Wonderful.
The whole running bay experience, in the bay. Eh?
Wonderful
Let me ask
indeed.
you, we must not take for granted Mr. Gilroy Isai Hall. A real, we talk about legend, we use that Bruce Lee in Lucia. A real gifted.
I know there have been some attempts to pass on that legacy, especially in the extempo, and there have been some.
Tried, but there's only one Isai. Isai is a genius.
Indeed.
An absolute genius. In the extempo, MCing also. He becomes a kind of producer on stage. The way he couches it, the way he has a nice thread towards performances, the humor, the balance. Isai is really a talent.
He somehow managed to take the football dribbling, which he was great at, and extending it into dribbling of words. Very, very astute gentleman indeed. Wonderful. My former teacher as well, I have to mention, at RC Boys.
He's really gifted and very solid. We don't take that for granted. Isai is an absolute genius in that field.
Indeed. Wonderful. And what a wonderful way to end there, discussing legacy. That has, in fact, been our dish of the day. When we come back, we're going to take in our weather report.
This has been The Daily Dish.
One tiles for your home, I see. Bathroom, kitchen, pantry. Need tiles for your balcony. Come down to Tiles Plus, satisfaction guarantee. Tiles Plus, Tiles Plus, Tiles Plus. Big tiles with unbeatable cost. Customer service, A+. Did all kind of tiles. Come down to Tiles Plus. We also got gasway and vanity. Books, doors, you'll see. Come down to mind nobody. We got the best tiles on island. Trust me. We are located Lance Road in Castries, Bosses Grozile, and Slack Street in Beaufort. Telephone number 453-7939.
Island style, yeah. We got the time to make you go. We got the time to make you say, yeah. We'll have to make the right choice. Island style, whoa. We got the time that will make you happy. Island style, oh yeah. We make your dream come alive in Island style.
We have tiles and insets, spaces and ground. Everything you need to sort the house out. For the best price and the latest style. Take a little drive down to Island Style Car.
We got the time to make you go. We got the time to make you say, quality, price, service, choice. It's all an Island Style.
Visit us at our showrooms in Belarus, Rodney Bay, on the John Compton Highway, Castries, and behind Ruby's Gas Station on the Library Beaufort Highway. So call us on 450-452 or 453-TILE. Island Style Tile and Bath. When you think tile, think Island Style.
This is Radio Caribbean International. It's now time for the weather news.
And that's sort of course on the 1.1. It's now time for your weather report as of 12 noon today, presented by Island Style Tile and Bath. The forecast for St. Lucia Valley for the next 24 hours. The winds will be blowing from between the east and southeast near 13 miles per hour or 20 kilometers per hour, becoming lighter at times. The weather, apart from a few brief showers, it will be mainly fair and hazy. And there is an advisory in here that reads that persons with respiratory ailments and dust allergies are advised to take the necessary precaution. Also, small craft operators are advised to exercise caution due to reduced visibility. The forecast for the Los Angeles, fair to partly cloudy and hazy skies with a few showers. And the weather summary. The Atlantic high pressure system will generate light to moderate easterly and southeasterly winds across the Los Angeles during the forecast period. Shallow patches of low-level clouds drifting along the wind flow will cause some cloudy intervals with a few showers over the region during the next 24 hours. Saharan dust will cause a reduction in visibility and air quality across the region over the next few days. And this was your weather report as of 12 noon today, presented by Island Style Tile and Bath.
This has been RCI's Weather News. For more information, call the Weather Hotline at 454-3452. RCI 101 number 1.
Island style. We got the time to make you go. We got the time to make you say, we'll have to make the right choice. Island style. Whoa. We got the time that will make you happy. Island style. Oh yeah. We make your dream come alive. In island style.
We have tiles and thin sets, pieces and ground. Everything you need to sort the house out. For the best price and the latest style. Take a little drive down to Island Style Car.
We got the time to make you go. We got the time to make you say, quality price, service choice. It's all an Island Style.
Visit us at our showrooms in Belarus, Rodney Bay, on the John Crompton Highway, Cass Street, and behind Ruby's Gas Station on the Library Viewfort Highway. Or call us on 450-452 or 453-TILE. Island Style Tile and Bath. When you think tile, think Island Style.
And welcome back to the Lunchroom here at Radio Caribbean International. Now, we just spoke about Legacy. That's one of the events for Independence 45 this year. And we do hope that we can be a part of that. In fact, we allowed Mr. Francis to leave without providing us with maybe an opportunity for somebody to win some tickets. So hopefully he can come back at some point before the show, maybe next week or something, to be able to do a giveaway or something of the sort. So I'm sure our listeners would very much welcome that opportunity. Now, of course, if you want to call in to tell us what's on your plate today, the number to do so, it is 452-3046. Again, 452-3046, as well as our WhatsApp number. It is 724-0008. Well, for some people out there, especially those who love their tea and perhaps their buns and sugary things, the sugar shortage seems to be no more, according to the Consumer Affairs Department, or at least a shipment has apparently arrived on island. So hopefully that will be able to make its way to the shelves of grocery and supermarket stores around the island very, very soon. Now, of course, this has become a matter of political commentary, and the first deputy leader of the opposition United Workers' Party, Mr. Guy Joseph, took aim at that matter, claiming that it was the fault of the government that there was this ongoing sugar shortage right here in St. Lucia. Now, that has been refuted by the Consumer Affairs Department, I believe. Let me just share a story from St. Lucia Loop News, which is actually looking at this ongoing row. In a scathing attack on the Pierre-led administration, United Workers' Party First Deputy Leader Guy Joseph has publicly criticized the government for the ongoing sugar shortage plaguing the island. Joseph claims that the current administration's financial mismanagement and fiscal challenges are to blame for the scarcity. Speaking at a press conference held at the UWP headquarters earlier this week, Joseph expressed his concern over the impact of the sugar shortage on the citizens and businesses of the island. He pointed out that the shortage has created hardships for both consumers and the hospitality industry, affecting everything from daily household needs to the operations of local businesses. But let's take a pause from that article just to take in a call. Good afternoon and welcome to the lunchroom. What's on your plate today?
How are you doing, Mr. George?
Very good, thank you, caller. How about yourself?
All yours, you and yours, all right?
Very nice, thank you. Thanks for asking.
I heard on another station some kind of statement being made by an opposition politician about referring to, the Labour Party's association, linking them with criminal elements and so on and so forth. Have you heard it?
Yes, that was a statement made by Senator Dominic Fede at the Wednesday United Workers' Party press conference.
But that's gone beyond just name calling, and talking about if you want to call people poodle or if you want to call them bulldog or whatever, or may have fun at them. I find that's dangerous stuff. And I mean, there are no laws against this kind of thing? To just say these things about people, especially in these days of these heinous crimes that are taking place?
Yeah, in fact, I think what he said was, you look at who supported them in the last election, they can't bark because many of the perpetrators of crime are their supporters.
I mean, really?
So it would suggest that he knows fully well who the perpetrators of the crimes are, and
well, the police always say they need evidence. Maybe they should question him.
Well, there have been suggestions that perhaps he should be questioned as to who exactly he's referring to.
These things reaching dangerous levels, and we're going along as if they, like, remember what Peter Josie said, and then this thing, we just, bury that and move on, and then these people are at liberty to say what they want.
No, it is a very serious allegation.
Anything in politics now at each other, and that's okay. That's okay. No holds barred. That's how our politics has become.
It would appear so, because he seems to be very comfortable making such a statement. He's not even making it in the parliament, where one might say he has some level of cover, but no, he's very much said it out in the open.
I mean, these things always there, suggesting, casting thing on people, because I remember some years ago, John Compton referred to the Labour Party as you would say violé. You know what's that?
Molesters?
Rapists.
Right.
I remember that. I mean, I'm old enough to remember these things. And there was also the thing that caused, I think, that hastened the demise of Julian Hunt. The glass in your
right.
Yes.
Remember that? That was in the Yes, I remember that one in the 1992 election.
He invited this gentleman to a ceremony to open a bank or something, and he said, "Well, this is what we do. We make progress. We open banks with this and that." Whereas the other party, all they do is break glass. So Mr. Hunt couldn't control his anger, and the rest is history, eh? What he said, how he reacted, how he responded.
And that became the issue of the campaign.
That became the issue of the campaign, correct? Yeah. So, well, you're old enough to remember that?
Yes.
So well, I mean, really. But this man said that in a way that you can't say he accused anybody. He just say all they do is that. Break glass, But for people to without any diplomacy in what they say, and just say that associate people with crime like that, I find that's going overboard.
Well, there's that statement which was made, and in fact, it seemed to have aligned with another statement which was not made by a politician. This one was actually made by, I guess you could say, a social media commentator from Viewfort, and that individual was almost suggesting that the reason why we don't have a canine unit operating is because there were elements in the drug trade who had a problem with it, and so therefore it was that was actually being played very openly, trying to suggest that there's some collusion between the state, the government.
Gone ahead of me, boy. I'm not even aware.
Yeah, so that was actually shared on another radio talk show. So there's
I know there has always been traditionally, Calix, the custom or the strategy to associate Labour Party supporters with low life.
Yes.
Because of course these are the people that when you check the genesis of Labour, that came out of, trade unions and so on, and, a certain class of people. I mean, is the reality. And the other one was mainly based on the commercial class.
But again, that almost suggests that, crime is only being perpetrated by one segment of the population, right?
Well,
or one
that's the other
element,
thing, because,
Whereas,
I mean, they have the blue-collar people who orchestrating it, eh?
Yeah, and that's the irony of it, eh? So we will turn cast a blind eye to corruption, in whether it's in government or elsewhere, that might be okay, because that's somehow, cleaner than the types of crimes that are committed by persons of a lower income bracket.
And hence, Impact was suggesting that people in high echelons in business and the public service involved in crime.
Mm-hmm.
So
yes.
there's a lot of that. So I mean, if crime for crime, it would seem that all both parties involved in promoting crime.
Well, I don't know that any party is promoting crime.
In clandestine ways or boldface.
Hmm.
So I don't know, boy, but once this is becoming that kind of way, there, it's going, and once the violence permeates the political system like that, it becomes much more dangerous, Khalid.
Right.
I'm telling you because I lived in Jamaica and I could tell you that level of crime now. When if it's just people, gangs and things as you say, but when it seems it linked to the politicians calling the shots, it's another level,
Definitely.
And we have to really try and, our political hatred, don't let that reach the extent, of wanting to take people out.
It is a very serious matter, and
the first thing to take them out is to say, well, they're criminals, so if they could do that, we have to get, we have to get dirty like them too. Let's take them out too, and let's, whatever. So we have to be careful. So I just thought I should talk about that. I know Katie was busy trying to persuade you to come to Heritage.
I hope he's giving you a free ticket, a complimentary ticket. Yes, you.
No. I ain't getting free tickets.
Whether you go or not. But
no free lunches.
Well, thanks very much for that contribution, caller. And have a good one. And yes, it is certainly a very critical issue in terms of how there is separation, in particular between the justice system, the judiciary, and the executive. We see quite often the Prime Minister of late has been making the point that he does not get involved directly in police operations. And it's an important point to make because there has to be, in as much as the state has a responsibility in terms of providing, resources and oversight and general guidance and accountability for the police, as well as many other elements within the justice system. They definitely cannot get involved in the operations or the operationality of those institutions. And so the police has to be a distinct entity in and of itself. The prosecutions, the Crown Prosecution Service, the Director of Public Prosecutions, that office has to be separate as well from the police and separate from the direction or immediate direction of the state, as well as in the case of the other judicial officers, the judges and magistrates and individuals within the court system. That also has to be separate, so that there is a clear understanding that these systems are not going to be in any way politically motivated or utilized by politicians for one reason or the other. So there has to be very good distinction made in terms of the management of these entities. And so, the systems that are put in place to be able to handle them, I think you have to be very careful with how it is in fact dealt with. In fact, ideally, we should be even looking to get to the point where even the finances of these entities are somehow protected or come through almost a sort of separate form of management. We saw that effort in the case of the Caribbean Court of Justice. That was a major concern in the designing of the administrative mechanism for the court, to say that you should not leave the court up to the devices of state parties. One may decide one day that, they're not going to fund this because a decision of the court went against a business in their country, or some decision against the government. There was a decision to remove the finances from that sort of direct intervention, and everybody had to say up front, we're going to raise a $100 million US bond, and that is how the court, the interest from that bond is how the court is going to fund itself. And we have to see within the context of our own law and order institutions how they are in fact managed and supported, so that they hopefully they have that assurance in that they are in fact able to be able to deliver on what is being asked of them. Now, of course, the challenge that we have is that it's also like with all other systems, it is being impacted by the rise in criminality, the rise in workload, because if you have more crime, it means therefore there's more work to be done by those who are to prevent crime, those who are tasked with the solving of crimes, those who have to do the investigations, those who have to do the testing, whether it's lab and ballistics testing at the forensic level, those who then have to prepare the cases, those who have to present those cases in front of courts, those who have to manage the court system and make judgments. All of these can potentially become swamped. And this is what we, in fact, to a large degree have been seeing, that we had a justice system which was operating in a different era and simply could not cope with the workload and the backlog that was resulting because of this surge in criminal activity. And it so therefore becomes a problem that the system itself begins to break down because of the inability to handle the surge in criminal activity. So we definitely have to bring our judicial system, our judiciary, into the 21st century. There have been many attempts to do just that. That realization has certainly been there, certainly at the highest levels of the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court and the Chief Justices that have come over the years, who have certainly tried to modernize the court system, ensuring that it is utilizing technology for the management of information. The cases have to be managed through the use of technology, and that is happening a lot more now. So that in very many ways, the judiciary is, in fact, operating perhaps even better than a lot of other elements within the justice system. Perhaps even more so than even, like, say, the police force. We still have a situation, I suspect, in terms of even how cases are recorded in our system. A lot of it is still done by hand. It's still done where people are actually having to go into a police station and then they've got to write down in a book, in a log, and this is the case. And then even submissions are being written by hand in some instances. So how that is managed, the information management systems have to be up to speed too. Your records management of the nature of crimes and reports, a lot of that has to be modernized within the police force as well, and in many other parts of the judiciary. So it really calls for a significant look at the entirety of our justice system. It cannot just be that one element is actually working fairly well, because then at the end of the day, one flows into the other. They really are, interconnected wheels, and so therefore the gears have to move in sync. And if one is not working well, it's going to be problems for the entire system. Let's take in a final call before we end the program. Good afternoon. Welcome to the lunchroom. What's on your plate today?
Good afternoon, Mr. George.
How are you doing, caller?
Not too bad. I could remember when Labour was in power, it was what, I can't remember what year there. Leonard Spidermont would come up with something. He said 90% of the night workers are Labour.
Yes, I remember that statement.
He said, as soon as we take office, we're going to sack all of them. And he did it. Those chaps not saying things that they don't mean it. They made it deep down. And it's time the government of St. Lucia, like what Dominic Fede said there, take him to book. Take him to book. Don't let them get away with it.
Yeah, it is a very unfortunate statement. I do hope that Mr. Fede retracts the statement.
But
I
hope
he apologized. Well, no, he didn't. No, he didn't either. And that is quite true.
He's somebody I know very well, but I don't know where that boy get this kind of thing to come and say those things, and then the government of St. Lucia just let him go free. You have to take them to book, and they will keep on doing it.
As an individual who certainly worked in the media, who was a minister for information and broadcasting, I'm pretty certain he knows how to be a bit more responsible with his words and the ideas that he is trying to put out there. And so it is certainly very important that I think he should certainly take that statement back. It was certainly not stated in a very kind way. It was meant for mischief. It was meant.
I always notice Dominic Fede. He always come with a mischief. Yeah, he does think and he does calculate and he come with it.
Yeah, so I think he certainly does owe an apology, I think, and to certainly just indicate that, look, this was...
Let him get over
it. He went a little bit too far with that statement. Yeah, definitely. Thanks very much for that.
And just regarding the situation we are in this country right now with crime, and he come in with that? No, don't let it book. Take him to book. And I want to see the Labour Party take him to book. Okay? Good afternoon, Mr. George.
Okay, well, I'm not trying to be the Labour Party to take him to book, but certainly he should certainly be more responsible about that statement. And let's hope he, in fact, does take it back and does the honourable thing and apologizes on that note. But that's all the time we have today for our program here at the Lunchroom. We do hope that you can follow us tomorrow. We're going to be talking about cancer. It's, of course, a major killer all around the world and right here in St. Lucia. And there are a few activities coming up to recognize cancer survivors and as well the struggle to cancer prevention as well. So we'll be discussing that with some representatives of the Ministry of Health in tomorrow's Lunchroom. So I hope you can join us for that. I'm your host, Alex Shaw Jr., saying goodbye.